Good evening and welcome RPG Limit Break fans. My name is Dathis. I'm going to be your restreamer slash background tech support with Hofes Menho as our tracker. And tonight we have Antidale and Bahamut X as your commentators. So I'm just going to throw it absolutely right on over to them to get started.
Thank you, Dathis. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to RPG Limit Break and round 2 of the Fabul Gauntlet for Free Enterprise. This is, I think, the third or fourth match so far, so we're really early into round 2. And here we have Twisted Flax going against fryz123. They both happen to not succeed in their first game and are looking to kind of even out that record. Bahamut X, what kind of things might you be looking forward to, and maybe the objectives or any boss hunts this seed?
Oh, I'm really excited to see what the different objectives will have, because there's so many different combinations of characters to find or bosses to beat or events to complete. It'll be interesting, like if any of them line together or if it's just going to be across the game.
Yeah, it's always really nice when you can find one of those and double up on something that maybe your opponent isn't going to check early.
Exactly. We'll see what they are and see which direction they go.
Yeah, and we are still in the same flag set. We're still using the Swiss flag set, so we'll have the 5 random objectives. All characters will be available with 1 duplicate. There'll be no free characters or key items. Chests and shops are on the T standard flag. So we'll find pretty good items, but none of the game rigging items inside of shops or untrapped chests. Do you have any early plays you like to do so far?
Oh man, I was kind of saying earlier that I've been playing Free Enterprise for a long time, but I'm still a little bit new at this latest version, so it's still getting interesting to see what the shops are different compared to the previous version, and it's definitely changed strategies a little bit.
Yeah, I know the first maybe month that the beta was out, I was definitely feeling a little bit lost with all the shop changes and the price differences I used to do all the time were no longer quite an option. So it's been fun to watch the meta evolve, and we're still right in the middle of it evolving and changing. We'll be able to see the Swiss round and then also do a little bit more in the brackets as we move on.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what's out there.
And how do you feel about the Sid start that the runners will have?
I think usually set start is good because one that he starts out at a decent level, and so he have a good DPS, and then also he's always been a good agility anchor, especially late in the game. So I definitely applaud the sit start.
Yeah, I think the runners will feel pretty comfortable going pretty much straight to Antlion. They might want to find a hammer or an axe for him, but we'll see what they get.
Indeed, even the regular wooden hammer is still a decent start.
Yeah, still puts out a respectable 100 plus points of damage constantly, and Sid with about 700 points of damage will definitely be able to handle anything that comes his way.
Yeah, we'll see who he gets paired with.
Indeed, and we'll be seeing that fairly shortly. Like all the matches here in the Football Gauntlet, the runners have started already, but are on a 15-minute delay. So we'll be just kind of watching them, getting ready for them to start. And looks like they are go. Oh my, double Sid, a ribbon, and a Mist Dragon. D-Mist saying, come on, come here, guys. I'm right here. Come find me.
It's twins. I would say this is. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, they know that every character they find will not be a Sid.
That's yeah, Dathos. You heard me. I laughed out loud.
Indeed, Maggie, there is only the one duplicate.
Interesting. Yeah, I think I've rarely ever seen a double start. That's pretty crazy.
And so we do have to find that Baron key to open the sewers, and then we'll be able to go find Mist. We also had to raise the whale, rescue the hostage in Mount Hobbs, defeat Rubicant, and I think it was get pulled.
Yeah, it looks like Fro's is going right for the Hobbs, the boss here.
Yeah, there's Kane there in the Baron Inn. Ooh, and Atella on the mountain. It's all old men so far.
And hey, Tella, especially if there's no other healers, he can be good early game. And if you can find a silver drop, then hey, you get Medio and get some nice damage early on.
Yeah, and that'll definitely help if they find an early Darkness Crystal and maybe think about, hey, there's that Soma drop. Go up Ordeals, get a Darkness Crystal, and then maybe go do some D Machine grinds. That extra 10 HP or 10 MP would definitely help out getting 4 weeks per full mana bar.
That too, yeah. So having that silver drop really changes how useful Tella can be.
And Twisted Flax taking advantage of some early shopping, finding vampires and star veils.
And I just learned recently how useful vampires can be in the Discord, that they can really help with damage early game.
Yeah, this party isn't as anemic as you might normally want to really hunt for those vampires. Will still definitely help out. Both of our runners taking advantage of Tella automatically having the exit spell, checking some places that you might not normally loot if you didn't have him in the party.
Well, very much so. If I don't have easy access to exit, that fryz is checking those chests there, I usually don't check them unless I have exit. Otherwise, that's a couple minutes just to get a few chests.
Although Twisted does not yet have Tella, so that walking down into Rydia's house is a little bit of an extra time for him.
And hopefully, didn't see Diddy get anything good. I hope the truck was good.
Well, he did find some ice arrows, knowing he has to beat up Rubicon later. And there's an Earth Hammer, too.
Oh, very nice. That'll definitely help out Sid. I know there's been a big debate of Earth Hammer versus Rune Axe. Which one do you prefer?
I'm actually on Team Ogre Axe most of the time, although they both have their benefits, with the Rune Axe being able to deal extra damage to mage types, and the Earth Hammer doing extra damage to fire weak enemies.
Yeah, they're both pretty good, but yeah, I've gone to Axe myself too. Just not the Poison Axe though. I think everyone hates the Poison Axe, right?
I mean, I love to sell it.
It has some good money. That's true.
We've also seen a Strength Ring and I think a Tiara too so far, so the runners are getting some pretty good equipment. The Strength Ring will definitely help out with Sid with his lower accuracy weapons, maybe getting him an extra multiplier. And if we ever find Rydia or Rosa or Porum, that Tiara will definitely help out with some defense.
Definitely. Although offense would only help out Rydia though.
Very true. But it can definitely turn her into an early game powerhouse if you find her in a Sylph Summon. And there's an Elven Boat for some more mage killing gear. Twisted Flax definitely will be able to turn one of his Sids into an archer pretty quickly.
And also something that is really nice that can take advantage of when I can is if you have a melee character that can equip a bow and arrow, you can do the back row glitch, which means that you can still do front row damage while in the back.
Yeah, that's definitely something I'd be doing very quickly if I were Twisted Flax. Get both of those Sids back row glitched and move them right in the back row, keep them alive even a little easier. And we do have Val, and she's in tornado form, but this is one of the spots where she's not too bad here.
And that's definitely nice because it sucks. It's not fun, I should say, to see Val at a place where the defense or the agility or the high and you don't have a cane.
Yeah, I really don't like seeing her in that first spot in the Baron Inn where she just has max magic defense. And there's a tower key for fryz.
Nice. It's always good to have a tower key before you go underground because I think a lot of people don't like to go to lower Babel without the key unless that's absolutely necessary, at least in my case.
Yeah, and chat pointing out that we saw Porum taking a nap in the bed, so we will need the Sand Ruby in order to clear that objective.
I think you're saying earlier that there's only one character that's duplicated in this.
That's right. So we know the only form in the seed is going to be there.
I could certainly put a wrench into the route, because it could make something really long if the Sand Ruby isn't deep in a rabbit.
Yeah, for sure. That can be anywhere.
It looks like Twisted Fox is taking on Octomam. How do you like to pronounce that? Octomamum? I never figured out how to pronounce that.
I should just call her Octomam.
Octomam? All right, I think I'll do that too. I like that. It's simple.
Yeah, we did see Twisted Fox using the Earth Hammer as an item where it can cast Quake, which is kind of nice. Picks up a Ninja Hat too. That'll definitely help out one of the Sid to be a little bit faster. I'd definitely load up the Earth Hammer bearing Sid, make him as fast and strong as possible, and just kind of ride one Sid all the way as far as I could.
Nice. Yeah, I haven't really used the Quake off of the Earth Hammer very much because I guess the times I've tried it didn't do much damage, but maybe early game it makes it actually useful.
Yeah, if we found an early alternate Gauntlet, that would be very nice.
Oh, most definitely.
Ooh, and Plague is here. This is actually not too bad for all of the early game spots. There's only about 400 HP, so should get through it pretty quickly and not have to worry about it. But Plague is always pretty nasty when you only have 2 or 3 characters.
Very much so. It's more difficult if then you would have to do the I like to call it the death stance or stance. We have to raise and kill, which then will cause him to cast the spell over and over, which will help defeat him, but it takes a while. You have to do the timing right.
Oh, and you love to see the sisters get a little bit out of sync where one of them casts fire on the other before the walls come out.
Yeah, it's funny when that happens. Looks like Twisted Fox is gonna head to the Endline boss here. And then
this is one of those fights where those runners wish they'd found that Earth Hammer or the Rune Axe you were talking about earlier, because that would definitely help clean this up much faster.
Oh, definitely. And I want to say most bosses at the second Baron Inn, most of them are not easy because they'll tend to, do a lot of physical damage. And so if you don't, at least for me, it's tough to defeat that spot early on unless you have illusion spells or items.
Yeah, and Fryz, unfortunately, finding out that Vampire is reflectable when he tried to use that on the middle sister.
Yeah, Magic Sisters can be tough early on if you don't have mage crushing weapons like like you said, the Rune Axe or mute weapons.
Yeah, and I know we've seen Twisted Fox pick up an Elven Bow, so that will definitely help him out getting through this fight when he gets a chance to come to the Baron.
And I think that Earth Hammer will help him too, because Twisted Fox Flax is the one with him, right? You could probably use that a little bit while he's hitting on Cindy, the one in the center. Because that's one nice thing about the Earthquake spell is Earthquake does not get reflected.
Exactly, and it'll hit all 3 sisters at once too. And Flax is also rewarded with their Tower Key for beating Vivalis there in Antlion.
Very nice. Only thing you have to be careful when you attack all the mages at once. I think the middle one, Cindy, has more HP than the other 2. So sometimes if you're gonna do, Earthquake spell, you might take out the other 2, but then enough time goes by, she'll res her sisters. So that can be an issue.
Yeah, she does indeed. And if you're in a very well-controlled spot, you could use that for an experience grind, although can be a little bit risky.
Oh, I'm not sure if I knew that. So if the sisters res her, if the Cindy reses her sisters and you kill them again, that's bonus experience?
Absolutely. It's just like the CPU's orbs. And Baigen's arms technically, but I think you usually only get 1 XP from Baigen's arms, so that's never worth the time.
1 XP?
I believe it's a very, very small amount, but the sisters and the orbs all give full XP. They're, I believe, almost always split fully 3 ways on those ones.
Oh, wow. Oh, I learned something tonight.
Yeah, if you have a Rune Axe in a pretty early spot, you can, like maybe Dwarf Castle, you could definitely do a number on them. Or also Fabul would be possibly a good spot for a very, very early grind. And Julius in chat pointing out that the dolls too, you can, the big doll will revert back down into 6 small dolls at the right HP total.
Yeah, usually with dolls, I try not to have it morph into the one, so I do that strat where you get down to 1 of each and then kill the last 2 as fast as possible. That's what I usually try.
That's definitely the safe, efficient play. We have Twisted Flax looks like climbing ordeals while Frizz is going into Fabul. We'll see who gets the progression underground.
And I don't think we've seen Fabul yet, have we?
No, these are both new checks.
You know, I wonder because of this 5 randomized objectives, have people been checking ordeals more often than in the past? Because I remember during Zima Zone last year, people tended to sometimes resist doing ordeals because there are several bosses in the way before getting a possible, but not always guaranteed key item. But now when you have objectives, I might say kill a boss. I wonder, are people checking ordeals more often in early game?
It has definitely changed how you decide to route a seed early game. The ordeals is when you have a number of defeated boss objectives. Ordeals is definitely a high density play, and Dwarf Castle also the value there has gone up a lot because it's a character, 2 bosses, and a key item check all at once.
Definitely. So I imagine probably that a route that wouldn't be much different from last year's tournament might be if the objectives are more vanilla or going after specific, defeating a certain dungeon that doesn't require a boss, then you might still see the older strats.
Yep. And here on Frizz's side, we see Baigen, the main body of Baigen going down as he's assaulting Fabul. And then the last arm also, while Twisted Flax is still continuing to take care of Leviathan and the first Mylon spot in Hob. Or I'm sorry, Ordeals.
It's okay, I get them confused too.
And there is our required Baron key.
Very nice. We're not no way to the underground quite yet, but I don't mind if this was me because that'd be more places to get more experience before I'm forced to take the hook if I have to.
Yeah, and Death Baigen brought the key from Baron and kind of dropped it in the entryway. I guess those Sid just shook it loose of his pocket.
Looks like the second boss spot in Ordeals with Twisted Flax is the very easy water hag. Just gotta whack him 3 times and boss is done.
Yeah, I'm always so nervous in these flag sets when you see the blue robe in a spot that you can't tell if it's water hag or not, because the Fabul Gauntlet can take an awful long time.
Oh, indeed. Especially it can be potentially irritating if it's a difficult spot and then you don't get a good item out of it.
Looked like Frizz found some Silk Webs and Thor Rages in a shop in Silvera, but seemed to have passed on buying either of them. It's an interesting choice because you never know where that Kanatsu is, and Thor Rages can definitely help make that fight a lot easier to keep the wave from.
Oh, definitely. Every time that's one thing I look for is if I see Thor Rages, I buy at least a few because even if it's late in the game, if you can even do 1 damage, from those items that'll get rid of that wave, which can save a lot of HP, especially late in the.
Yeah, it's not required often, so we'll hope that Frizz does not have to remember that they're there and come back for them, or maybe that Frizz will find a number of black mages so they can have lit on tap.
It looks like Twisted Flex got the pan, so whenever we get a chance to go underground, he can go and wake up wake up Yang.
Yeah, Pan and then the Kaipo guards. Kind of hate to see them here, because you really want this free fight somewhere else that's a little more difficult.
Yeah, definitely. It's not a nice thing to see when you see an easy fight in an easy spot.
So we've seen Soma drops already from Flax, and we'll have a fully powered Tella. That could make those Mega Sisters nice and easy with a nice little bowl of Meteos.
Oh, definitely. I love, sometimes when I get Tella with that Soma drop, it definitely opens up possibilities to take on some bosses you wouldn't normally be able to, and just nuke them. Done.
And both runners still pretty even so far. So there's no real telling who is ahead.
Yeah, you're right. Frizz is not too far behind, taking on ordeals here. But as I know Gambit was saying earlier, definitely the next spot for progression has to be somewhere in Baron, either the inn or inside the castle. So we'll find out what they get when they go inside.
Yeah, the castle's a pretty high value play, although I'm not sure they have quite have enough damage where they'd feel comfortable doing it immediately. With that demist making it so you have at least 2 checks.
Right? Yeah. Well, at least they have the 2 Sids, which is a good amount of damage right there.
Twisted Flag's finding Earth Hammers for sale too, so we could have twin Sids on his side, both wielding Earth Hammers, and also some bandanas to help out with the damage too, increasing. But doesn't buy any of them because he's a little short on money.
Yeah, money can be a bit of a premium, especially early on, unless you get, some items that you can sell off to get some nice cash. Like example is, if I come across crystal armor, I never equip that, so that's a really nice influx of cash to be able to buy some other more useful items.
Yeah, and with both Sids in the party to start with, they weren't really incentivized to do a lot of looting early.
Very much that makes sense, because 2 Sids, yeah, we can lay off on checking chests too much. I see Twisted Fox is using the Earth Hammers for the Quake spell.
And Frizz has obtained their pan from top of Ordeals, and now has to defeat the Kaibo guards. We see that Elven Bow doing some very, very nice damage on the Mega Sisters.
Very much so, and hopefully he'll take care of Sandy here, because I know, like, someone said in chat that Sandy can also res the other 2 sisters if left by herself too long.
I don't think I've ever seen that, but this charm can hurt an awful amount.
I could be wrong, but I thought Sandy could res her sisters too.
And there is some music, so we still have choices before we get underground.
Yeah, I like that. It's always good to it's good to have music. So hopefully we will not see. Well, we'll see if they go for the Magnus Cave or if they're going to go for the um, Baron Castle here.
I know I'd still be feeling like I wanted to find some other characters and get some more variety in my party. I would like a real white mage or a real black mage, or maybe someone who has a better variety of weapons. Although we do have that cane on Twisted Flax's side, who can equip that ice brand and might be going Rubicon hunting. Although Flax is yet to do Fabul, so we might be seeing that check soon, but it's actually going to go to Twin Orb right away.
Interesting play. I didn't notice they hadn't done Fabul yet, so you can't do the Baron Castle yet. But we'll see if Frizz goes into Baron Castle.
Yeah, I imagine that getting that pan, Twisted Flax might be looking to try and do all of the Fabul checks in one go, and is hoping to find underground access outside of Fabul.
And I know that some people like to try to, just like how people might want to not do lower Babel or the Sylph Cave without the respective items. Some people are the same way with Fabul, is to not have to go inside a Fabul until you go underground or have the pen to get it all done in one time.
And Twisted Flax finding some very valuable consumables, both cabins and life potions, really selling themselves up, but did, I think, sell the. Oh, there's a strength ring. So unless they had two. Oh, Chad is saying Frizz sold the strength ring. That is unfortunate, because that is a very, very nice item that I usually try not to sell. In fact, it's one of the few things I'll buy out of item shops or armor shops.
They sold the strength ring.
That Dathis was mentioning in chat that the strength ring was sold by Frizz.
Oh yeah, yeah. I try to hold on to that, unless I get something better late game. But definitely early on, I like using that if I can.
You can get some good value though out of the items that were purchased with it.
Well, that's good. See, Frizz is checking the one that's there.
Okay, Gambit saying that Frizz is trying to purchase a second Earth Hammer, which is a very, very good decision, getting both SIDs up to par with their damage output.
That'll definitely help a lot with trying to take on bosses here with no healer. You kind of risk with having much healing. So the best defense is the best offense, right?
Yes, the best white mage is more damage.
Exactly. Looks like Frizz is having to deal with some NPCs there, getting in the way.
They are definitely one of the rudest bosses in Free Enterprise.
The most rude one, though. The most rude one, is definitely the one in Troya, the entrance.
Yes, she definitely knows where you want to go and gets right in your way often. But here we have a music check, so we will be quiet fairly shortly as soon as Edward starts climbing himself out of bed. Oh my, that wyvern is going to be trouble. That's also not going to be our only path underground for sure, if there is possibly a path behind there.
And actually, I was looking at the right screen. It was Wyvern, and it was the regular nuke. It wasn't substituted.
That's right. We have normal wyvern's mega nuke turned on.
Oh,
So Twisted Flax definitely knows that's not going to be a required way underground and can safely abandon that, and knows that they have to go to Fabul.
that's true. I know the way to get, with Wyvern, if you can get off that reflect spell fast enough, because I think was in the starter pack there was some reflect items though, right?
Yeah, they do have Star Veils, but I don't know if their agility is quite where it would need to be in order to be fast enough to get that off in time. But give Kane a few levels and maybe throw that ninja hat on him, and I think that'll be possible.
But that's good to know that I know there was that flag that if the certain flag is set, that you're saying that there'll be another way to get underground that's not through Wyvern. And I know there's a flag that disables that, but that's currently enabled, so hopefully, the other way will be more easy to get to the underground.
See the Twisted Flax and run out of arrows with one Sid punching. Using the Earth Hammer to take care of the arms and make Baigen just kind of heal him back while Kane jumps on the main boss.
Yeah, it kind of looks like it. I just see that he took out the body there, and if he doesn't take out the arms quickly enough, they'll self-destruct, which looks like there was no problem.
Will soon be rewarded with his Baron key, and will be following right in Fryz's footsteps. And Gambit in chat pointing out that Fryz has not actually yet, and is this game even sufficiently shuffled, where we have Kanatsu the Turtle sitting on the Baron throne, just like normal.
Is this even randomized? Yeah, I was going to say that.
All the HP on these Sids should make this pretty straightforward, though.
That's true. And as you take Kainazo down in HP, his wave will do less and less damage. So quick, fast DPS early on will help out the fight a lot.
Yeah, that Ice Brand that Twisted Flax's Kane has equipped will help out too, because while Kainatsu has the watered down, it is weak to cold damage. And when the water's up, he's weak to lightning. And there is a nice lit 3 from Tella doing more damage than you ever expect Tella to really do.
Yeah, being weak to lightning really helps increase that damage from him.
Yeah, Night2 in chat asking where Flax got Kane. That was at Baron Inn, as people in chat have mentioned. Behind Plague is the first boss, and Maga Sisters in the karate spot, which got him the Twin Heart.
It's like, Fryz got a Rosa. We have a white mage.
That's got to feel real good.
And with 2 Sids, and once he probably gets Kane, that's going to be a really good party.
Yeah, it's definitely a party that could take you all the way through, although there's a few people I'd want to upgrade over maybe keeping both of the Sids.
That's true. If he can find, like, a Cecil, but with a good sword, he can replace one of the Sids, but still 2 Sids are, better than a lot of characters still.
And we get a very good ninja sword out of the pot, so that means that D-Mist has to have the progression.
And we'll see if it's a magma key or the hook.
or an Earth Crystal, which would be exciting to keep our runners just clearing the overworld as far as possible.
Hey, that works for me. If I was doing the seed, because more things to do before having to go underground, more levels, and makes it easier to go underground later.
Yeah, Nightu in chat pointing out that Odin cannot hold the progression here because the boss in the Odin spot is considered to be a little bit too strong to hold progression into your underground.
Here's a question. If I don't think anyone's picked up any hourglasses yet, but if we had an hourglass, would you go do a quick check on Odin to see it's a freebie?
I would be willing to at least check it out to know whether it's my Rubicant that I need too. Do a quick save, check, and reset out because you know you're probably not going to beat it.
That's true. Just kind of see what's there, so you can take care of it later if you need to come back.
Yeah, it's probably worth the minute worth of knowledge. Yeah, Julison pointing out in chat, hoping that fryz123 has not forgotten about the D-Mist. It's easy enough to forget since it's so far before, or so far after you have beaten that D-Mist by the time that you actually get control again to where you can go check.
And hopefully Frizz can take out the Magnesis now with a little more power, a little bit of Rosa. Hopefully this will be easier for him. I would say they're probably still about even, aren't they? They're on different bosses, but they've beaten each other's areas, though, haven't they? So they're still about even.
Yeah, this is pretty close still. No one's really broken up the seed yet. They've both had to take extra runs at places or have taken an unsuccessful run at a location the other runner hasn't.
I noticed Kane used a Lit Bolt on him, which does get the water away, but I know Lit Bolt and the two other ones do damage based on your current HP, which I think can be affected by if they're weak to it, but still didn't do much damage because Kane only had, what was it, like 80 some HP.
Yeah, it was definitely effective to get rid of get the water unqueued, but a little bit too late to not have the wave actually kick off.
Pepita made a comment there about using Medio on the Maga Sisters. If it was me, I might have done that, because if there's if I can pull it off in time, Medio is a nice quick one-shot on some early bosses, if you can pull it off fast enough.
And a reminder for the people who've joined us a little bit late, Dathis had said that fryz123 is having a little bit of audio issues, so we won't have sound coming from his stream in this run. Yeah, and since both runners have unlocked the sewers and will have completed Baron, they both have the first two objectives completed. We've also seen that Porum is in the bed in Kaipo, so we do need a Sand Ruby, we need to find Rubicant, and we need a Darkness Crystal.
So is it, I think Twisted Flax is the one that's checked the Magne's Cave?
Indeed.
Oh. Yeah, I was gonna see. It looks like Frizz is gonna go for the Magne's Cave. I was gonna wonder if he's gonna go for that or check the mist spot yet, which I don't think either of them have checked yet.
No, Twisted Flax will have his opportunity once he walks down the long hall and gets his ninja sword.
Right, and so this is the fact that Twisted Flax has checked that spot already. He's gonna go right for D-Mist, so he might get a little bit of a leg up here.
And Frizz finding a Dorfax will be able to back row glitch his Sids and his Kane, since the Dorfax is the only long-range weapon Kane can equip.
I definitely love me some Dorfax for that.
Indeed.
Did I see one of them sell the Marasame sword? Or which one it was? I didn't see it fast enough.
Could be. Frizz has an awful lot of money, so maybe that could have come from selling the Marasame.
Yeah.
You never know when you're going to get an edge, so it's not. If you have something that you want to buy, it's not a horrible idea.
Oh yeah, if you see something better that you can use right now that help you a lot, yeah, definitely go and sell it. And hopefully he did.
Twisted Flex looks like it's taking another run at that Wyvern. Both runners might have forgotten that they've already found and defeated D-Mist. Oh, Flax almost gets to the Chocobos and then realizes maybe that they have a check that they can still do. Ooh, that reset hurts.
Oh no, he backed up before the Baron King spot. Did he save in between the bosses or did he not? I didn't see that earlier.
I don't remember. I don't think so. I know I never think to save, which always means that Wyvern's on the throne for me.
I try to do both bosses at once unless there's a chance that if my levels are low, I might save in between them, but I try to do both if I can, if I feel confident enough.
Yeah, as Night2 points out in chat, this is hopefully a reminder that you fought D-Mist and you could have gone to check this. Hopefully this doesn't take too long though for him. And Frizz will find the very rude Wyvern and maybe not be able to take a run and complete it. So hopefully that runners will still be about even.
Yeah, interesting how that happened. So you didn't do enough saves. Hey, I've made that mistake where I try to save as much as I can, maybe skip a save, but there's been a few times where I thought I saved and like, oh, I'm gonna back up, and like, oh no, I went back half an hour. So we've all done it.
Oh, for sure.
Hey, we get to listen to some music again, and sounds like with some Mega Man 2.
Yeah, Frizz does have music. Unfortunately, as Acid said, that Frizz's sound wasn't quite there, so we don't actually have audio from Frizz.
Oh no, it's too bad. It happens.
And Jeep is in chat asking if we've seen Curse Rings yet, and I have not. So there's not a lot of great options for agility anchoring in order to kind of manipulate your way into being able to make sure you can go first and get your Star Veils off in time.
Something that might help, at least with me, and I know some other runners do to help try to get in a hit or two, is run buffering, because that means if you press and run and then you can, it helps you do a ability.
Yeah, it definitely can help, and as Chad is pointing out, we have seen Dorfaxes, and there is a Ninja Hat around, so you could probably equip a Sid with that Dorfax and give Kane a Ninja Hat, put him in the right spot, and be able to get that Star Veil off. But Wyvern is now 2-0 on our runners tonight. And both decide that coming back later is probably the right option.
And hopefully Frizz remembers the Mist Dragon this time.
And there's a Magma Key.
No hook. No hook see tonight. And I'm sure Frizz is, I mean, I would be feeling relieved for not having to go to the underground through the upper Babel.
Ooh, I noticed that Frizz has, ooh, there's a Cursed Ring. And Frizz does have the Drain Spear on Kane. So you actually could use Kane to be an agility anchor to get some Star Veils off. So our runners do have the tools to get past that Wyvern at Twin Harp if they want to.
I know I tried to say it earlier, but I think I messed up on my mic. I was trying to explain run buffering, which would really help with trying to take out Wyvern. Do you want to finish explaining that?
The run buffering, since the ATB does not advance when there's messages popped up on the screen, that if your timing is right, you can get yourself a few extra ticks of the ATB in order to input commands on the screen. It can definitely get you an extra Star Veil off or two, but it is not necessarily in and of itself going to be a solution in all cases, but definitely could help.
I still can add a little bit more, but thank you for the explanation. So Frizz gets to go underground. So will he go to the Dwarf Castle, or will he go do the quick check at the Land of Southern Monsters?
Yeah, you might want to do summon monsters and route that directly into a pan check, since they do have the pan also. That way you'd be able to scope out 2 bosses, get a free key item, and then go get a few more free key items. But look like it's going directly to Bob Yang in the head.
Ah, that's right, the pan. Very, very good choice. And you can get that all done in one swoop and go back up and talk to Yang's wife.
And Twisted Flag's not far behind, remembering D-Miss this time and going straight there.
So even with all that, looks like I think Twisted Flag still isn't too far behind Frizz here. Still pretty close.
And there is our Sand Ruby, which should get us our Porum, who's sleeping in the bed in Kaipa.
All right, so that'll be just 2 more objectives left. It looks like, what's I forgot about the tower key? It looks like Frizz is going to go for lower Babel. Well, I thought he was going to go for lower Babel.
Good runners faking us out, making us think that we know what we're going to do, and then they decide that they actually have other checks to make. One thing for people to remember is that when you do use the Sand Ruby, you get a free heal out of it. So that's something Frizz could have saved a little bit of time and saved one of those cabin.
I think I didn't know that either. That's cool.
Chad is having a lot of fun suggestions where Rubicon could be hiding. We're not going to repeat them all because goodness my, they're me. But they would serve for a very exciting race.
Oh, very much so. I mean, there's also the chance that could be the behind the package inside the Kaipo Inn.
It looks like a community service window or community service worker is our job dwarf in Tamra.
I like your thinking, Rolo. I very much so. There's always value to Cape Bahamut. That's my opinion. I'm not biased at all.
An area in chat asking whether or not you have to put Porm in the party, and chat informing that no, you don't. You just have to get to the character window to where you could put them in the party, but it has to be a choice, so it can't be one of your two starting characters. And I saw that we had a legend sword out of Sheila, but I missed the other item. Oh, it looks like it's Darkness Crystal. That is a very loaded Sheila.
For a second, we're going to see what the item here is with Twisted Flax, and it's a rat tail.
A little bit of delayed value there. We'll see when we get the hook whether there's anything required. Looks like Fryz is going to take advantage and summon the whale right away because that is one of our requirements.
So I think all that's left is to find Rubicant.
Indeed. And that is a lot of value behind the pan because we found the sand ruby from the sylphs once we woke Yang up, and then we go return the pan to Sheila and get our darkness crystal. Night2 pointing out that we did see Hourglass 2s inside of March. One of the shop rebalances in 4.0 is to remove Hourglass 1s and 3s and increase the price of Hourglass 2s. So one of what used to be a common staple in runners' arsenals both got more expensive and more rare.
Yeah, which I can understand because it definitely, when they were more plentiful and cheaper, kind of made a bunch of bosses kind of trivial. And so this makes it a little more challenging.
Absolutely. We saw the Calbrander Dolls and Mom Bomb in Feymarch. I think I would avoid both of those for quite a while.
Yeah, indeed. We'll see who the character is at the moon here.
Neckbeard Tech in chat asking what the criteria is to get Rubicant's script. And it's a percentage of his HP. I don't remember offhand what it is, but it's a pretty small percentage that if you hit him and he still has that amount of HP, then you get the script. And we get a Lunar Ninja.
Looks like he's getting rid of one of the SIDs. I wonder, does Fryz still have a Masamune?
No, it looks like sold it, but does have a ninja sword.
Which definitely helps, for sure. I think that's still is probably good to switch out one SID with Edge.
Yeah, it can be awfully hard to equip two of the same character with their best gear. And Edge's ceiling is noticeably a bit higher than Sid's is in terms of damage.
Definitely, and if he does come across, any defense swords or Excaliburs, those are very nice darts, or even light swords. And some sirens. Those are really nice for helping out with doing some leveling. But I think that was a change in 4.0. They made those more expensive, didn't they?
Yeah, those also got more expensive. I think they doubled from 2,000 to 4,000, and they're also just like Hourglass 2s rarer. You'll see them in far fewer seeds than you used to, even on the standard flag.
Yeah, I've noticed that myself. So it's interesting when that happens because that means you have other things you have to rely on to do leveling. Either use the D-machine grind, or you can level off of the locked doors inside the seal cave.
Yeah, it looks like our runners won't have to do that this seed since we have found both Hourglasses and Sirens if they put it together, and we'll be able to do the double dragon, gold dragon grind.
Which double golden dragon is very nice, not just for experience but also for money to buy items later.
Frizz doing some more looting, finds a tiara, and the looting here in on the moon won't be elevated under this flag set, but once we get to brackets, you'll actually be able to find noticeably higher level gear on the moon than you would be able to in ungated chests on Earth.
Arya made an interesting comment that it'd be interesting to have vanilla ruby, but that would mean we would have to find the hook in order to do that. But that would be interesting for sure.
Frizz sees a blue robe up in Bahamut's throne, realizes that he's already fought Water Hag, and nopes out. Wants no part of a Bahamut cave value alternate gauntlet.
We'll find out if it's a good player or not, because there's always value,
That's a long time to get value, although that is a lot of experience that's available there.
So the blue robe there, it would, since we already saw the one boss, it would have to be either Milan 1 or the Gauntlet, right?
The blue robe is going to either be Water Hag or the Gauntlet. Both Mylons wear purple robes.
Oh, purple. Okay.
And the Mylon that is in the Elements fight in Dwarf Castle will show up as a red robe. That's one that can trick you because the Dark Imps are normally the red robe. And Frizz has summoned the Giant. I wonder if we're going to see a D-Machine grind.
D-Machine grind, or at the very least to see who's at the element spot.
Yeah, it could be a pretty quick check and see if Rubikind is there, or if you have a free boss. Would love to see King Queen Evelyn there. Get a nice 100,000 experience points just for showing.
I think Frizz bought some sirens though, didn't he?
Yeah, I think Frizz was the person on the moon who bought Sirens, so it's a little bit interesting that you might E-Machine if you have Sirens, although goodness knows I've done it too. Sometimes it feels like the right play.
I guess I haven't used a siren in this area. Does using a siren here summon a siren with a D-Machine?
I think it summons an actual singular D-Machine. Can also summon, I believe, a dual Mech Giant.
And looks like he's going to do the D-Machine here. So I think he turned on counters and probably has the map available to determine when the right time is to reset to be able to get that proper bot or proper enemy to start doing that grind.
And here we have a very non-evil wall or a very nice spot for a very evil wall here in the Super Cannon room.
Evil Wall can definitely be a nasty boss in certain places. I think in my race, I think I had Evil Wall at one of the bosses inside this summon monsters. That could be a nasty spot.
Yeah, anywhere where Evil Wall is fast and punches very, very hard, like the summon monster spots too, are bad places to see Evil Wall.
I can tell Frizz is definitely doing the D machine grind, going up into the second level and doing the circle around, and he's going to go back into the first level. But we'll see if this one. We'll find out if this is the right one. Looks like he's fighting it, so hopefully it'll produce the D machine. But I can understand this play. You got Tella, you've got what was it, forecast of the week, and so you can get some nice, quick XP this way. So I enjoyed the D machine grind from time to time.
Oh, for sure, and has a low-level Rosa and Kane to slingshot. Oh, that is not the correct fight. Gonna reset out and try again.
It certainly took me a while to get the map down right to know exactly when to reset or not, because just like what happened there was have the siren +2 plus those two other mobs that could produce the D machine, it could not, and so it takes some practice to be able to get that down right. It looks like he's leaving though.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't feel confident we'll be able to find the right fight, and knows just that it's probably not as efficient as using those sirens that were purchased.
Is that Ogo Pogo at the lower Babel spot here?
That certainly is. This is not a horrible spot. This spot isn't too vicious, although will hit still kind of hard. Takes out Rosa immediately.
I will say, at least for me, no matter where he's at, it's still Ogo Pogo scares me, even at the weak spots. But after I'm like, oh, okay, he only has 400 HP, I'm fine. But he could be really nasty in certain spots, like Ogo Pogo and Kanazo are at least two of the bosses, if they're at the upper Babel where Rubicant is, can be very nasty fights.
Yeah, it looks like this fight is not going to go super well, although the one interesting part of Ogopogo's script is most magic cast against Ogopogo results in a blaze counter, where lightning spells result in just a single target weak. So if you are going to cast the Ogopogo, lightning is your friend, unless you can kill him right away.
And that's right. When I fight him, I try my hardest not to use magic, but I think I knew that he casts different things depending on what you cast at them. But I'm not sure if I fully connected about the weak part. So if you have the ability to res someone quickly if they kill them, that's actually not bad. That's a good strategy in certain situations.
I think both our runners are kind of feeling like they need to maybe get some levels. Twisted Flax bailing out of checking that Ogopogo, and we'll just take the tower room key item check once he walks out of here. These 1v1 races can be very nerve-wracking.
Oh, very much so. Because it's only racing against one other person, and at least me, I kind of look to see if anyone's, if the person's finished yet. You try not to metagame, but sometimes it's hard not to metagame the later the race goes.
Pepita asking in chat if Ogopogo is weak to ice, and he's not. Leviathan is weak to lightning, but Ogopogo is not weak to anything. And just a heroine robe for his troubles. Rosa will be happy with that if you want to turn it into a very good archer. But it's probably not the progression or key item that they were looking for. And we find the dwarves have wine.
Which is also very nice when you have melee characters. I try to buy some of those if I can.
Yeah, the seed is being very generous with items so far, at least in terms of consumables and shops.
And I think this is the first time we're seeing Dwarf Castle, and I missed the little pop there. Who the boss was there? Was that wasn't Odin, was it?
I think it was Asura. So hopefully we have some mage killing weapons on hand.
If not, we'll have to see if they try to do the reflect strat or the strat where you lock her at casting life 1.
Yeah, it looks like gonna be putting a wall on Asura, like you would have done probably in vanilla, in Final Fantasy, in the Final Fantasy II that we had in the States, um, when this was released on the SNES. Yeah, it looks like that Cid probably still has an Elven Bow equipped, doing some fairly decent damage.
For a moment there, I was wondering if Shira's life reflect would have raised one of the characters there. I think I've seen it happen before, but I know it's just it's a luck thing.
Actually, I believe that it can't target a deceased character or a sued character of yours. You can only target living characters off of the reflect, unfortunately.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. I guess it's. I thought I'd seen it, but it's from a long time ago, so my memory must be off. Well, that's too bad.
It is indeed, but has moved characters to the back row, and so should hopefully be able to get through this.
Indeed. Hopefully, yeah, Sid and King can take care of her. Except now the wall just wore out.
Yeah, and Mechalik in chat pointing out that when you have the summon Asura, you do indeed get your people lifed up on that 1 in 3 chance, but the reflect doesn't quite work that way. And
Maybe
Fryz
that-
has found the horrible news at Ogopogo and is taking the long walk out of the tower as well.
Maybe that's what I was thinking about with the Ashura and raising your people. Might be from that.
Yeah, our runners have definitely found some rude bosses in places that you do not want to encounter them.
Indeed. Yeah, Ashura's doing some nasty physical damage here.
Gambit in chat asking if we found out who the Ruby spot boss was, and I actually missed it both times. So I do not recall what boss might be stopping us from going underground if we had the hook.
Yeah, I forgot to look too, so I missed it. But it does look like Fryz is gonna take on the Dwarf Castle here.
Yeah, both our runners high-fiving again.
Looks like Flex is still staying alive here with this fight with Ashura.
Yeah, and Death as a streamer pointing out that it was a lunar sparkle. Process of elimination means that we have pale dim or D-lunars sitting in the Rubicon spot, so we know that it is not necessary for us to at least fight that.
That's probably good because that, I talked about it earlier. That could, depending on the boss, that could be a difficult boss spot to do.
Yeah, but does give us the possibility of a very trolly Rubicant just shifting one spot into the King Queen Eblin and being very hard to find.
That's true. I forget about that. There is another boss there. He could still be there. What spot would you say is more trolly? The last boss inside of the giant, or the boss inside the Kaipo Inn?
Oh, I think Kaipo in, especially once you've already found all of your characters. That's very much the one I try to put off as long as possible.
Yeah, that's true. Even further, I would probably check the giant boss second to last. That's true.
Oh, Flex
Looks
has
like
found the elements.
that's why he reset it. I didn't see it in time before he resetted.
So we've seen Odin and the elements at the Mist Cave and the waterfall. So we have not. We're still looking for that Rubicon. There's still a lot of the moon to check, which looks like Flax might be going to do.
And I don't believe anyone's checked Odin's spot yet either.
Correct. That could very well be a check that our runners forget about, having already mentally cleared off Baron Castle.
I've certainly done it.
Yeah, especially when you've already feel like you've gotten 2 checks out of there since D-Mist was in the Vigan spot. Your kind of mental calculus of what you've done and not done could already be saying, I got 2 things from Baron, I don't need anything else.
Exactly. There's definitely been at least one race where I forgot about Odin, and I check everywhere. Like, I thought I've checked everywhere. Where is there another spot? And then at the very end, like, oh yeah, Odin. It's definitely an easy one to forget about.
It is, although you can visit Baron and go talk to Rose's mom, and she'll tell you about all the places you have forgotten.
That is a nice addition to the randomizer.
It's definitely something I've used a time or two.
Yeah, me too. Don't you just hate it when you try to land the moon ship or even just an airship in the wrong spot? But the most annoying one is when you land it in the underground right before the spot where you go up above ground, just to left there. And I hate when I do that accidentally.
Yeah, airship flying is definitely an advanced technique. Sometimes I feel with the amount of crashes I do. And Twisted Flax finds the good news about Sirens being on the moon and is going to empty out that inventory.
And it looks like Frizz is taking his shot at Shura here. We'll see if he can do it, or I know he still has those sirens, so he can do some grinding if he feels like he needs to get some levels.
Looks like Flax is also taking the Sirens and running back to Earth. Kind of interesting how neither runner is taking advantage of the Hourglasses and Sirens and the Tela that we have available to us to do a very quick dual gold dragon grind. Maybe get a jump start on beating some of those moon bosses.
Indeed, if I had the opportunity to either use the sirens underground, like which I think Twisted Fox is going to do, or do the I'd go just inside Bahamut's cave and do the sirens there and do the double gold dragon. I've been doing the latter more often because you get a lot of experience, but then you get a lot of money, which then you can buy, ethers or cure threes and stuff. So I do like doing that when I can.
Yeah, and in this particular seed where they're just looking for Rubicon, it kind of puts you in a position to where you can peek all the boss spots, figure out what you might need to do, and then just take care of Rubicon if you see him in a free spot on the moon, since those are all available to be seen.
That's a very good point. Because, yeah, I definitely agree.
Yeah, it's an interesting position the runners are in, knowing that they still have bosses locked behind key items, but still have a number of places where they could see a boss and fight it without requiring any extra key item. Definitely weighs on the mind.
Oh yeah, because I don't think there are many bosses left locked behind key items. There's the Seal Cave, and then Zot, and then also the King Queen of Eblin.
Yeah, we've got the one behind the hook that we don't know. We have the package. As you said, we have the Luca Key, the Sealed Cave, and then Tower of Zot for 2. And then no one has checked either of the bosses up on the Giant or checked Odin's spot.
So not very many locked bosses right now. Most of them are open.
Yeah, there's really only 4 of the available 34 boss spots.
But at least Flax is doing some grinding with the Sirens here, the eggs, which is definitely can be easier, especially if you don't have the ability to do weak spells or hourglasses. So this is a nice way to get some experience too.
Or Death is our restreamer correcting me, 32 boss spots available.
Frizz just noped out of those bosses.
Yeah, I do not blame either runner for wanting to come back later on the Fame Arch bosses. Even the dolls wouldn't be too bad since they do have hourglasses. That would be a totally doable fight. It would still be a little time consuming, and you might not feel like you actually want to.
Exactly, especially since you only just have to find Rubicon right now, and best thing is to focus on just seeing the exposed bosses and try to find out to see if they're Rubicon or not.
Yeah, it looks like Twisted Flax is going to give it another go at this Viscera. I think those extra levels will definitely help.
Most definitely. I wonder how many levels did he get?
I didn't quite see, but it looked like it was somewhat significant. I think all of his characters should be able to survive at least one punch from that Asura when she counters.
Very important, especially if you don't have very many ways to link yourself.
And Random Chicken in chat asking, why is there one more boss than slot? Because in the game we've removed the water hag encounter entirely. You can't fight anything there in Kaipo. So there's always one boss in every seed that will have the seed off. As long as no free key items is turned on, Miss Dragon will be in every seed.
It's like Frizz is doing some Siren grind here, which can be difficult early on if you don't have enough DPS to one-shot the Yellow Dragon. But it looks like he survived the first one at least, which is important because that's going to give you a nice jump in levels, even with one.
And Groundflyer in chat asking if there are some bosses that are always there. I believe the only one that is always going to be in a seed as long as no free key items is turned on, will be demissed. Otherwise, if the boss is an objective, it'll always be there. But any of the other bosses can take the seed off. And we have our first runner through the Asura, who has taken this place of the Kelbrandadals in Dwarf Castle.
And we'll see who Golbez is, which I don't think we've seen who Golbez is yet.
Now,
and
we'd have
thankfully...
to get
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, we'd have to get the Earth Crystal to find that information out.
Again, is this seed randomized with the vanilla Rydia there?
And Flax taking that vanilla Rydia and will be taking out these Baron Guards. Wisely looks like going to be using a Mute Bell to get rid of their reactions.
Should make this boss very easy, because at this spot I'm not sure exactly how much HP, but I know it's very low, so it should be easy to take him out.
Yeah, there's about 3,000 HP, I believe, for this boss. I'm using a Coffin to take care of one, and looks like Edge will probably take out the other one pretty shortly.
Easy peasy.
Dath is pointing out that he didn't take advantage of that Coffin to use a life glitch. All of the enemies in Free Enterprise that aren't bosses and aren't undead, since we have the life glitch turned on, can have the life potion or spell used on them once they've died, as long as their sprite is still somewhat on the screen, to where it will instantly resummon them and then kill them again because they have 0 vitality, so they'll be resummoned with 0 hit points. It does allow you to get some extra, count as extra kills and get extra experience. You could have gotten 30,000 XP out of that fight rather than the 20, but that's still 20,000 for a very fast fight is excellent.
That boss pod is always definitely a nice quick injection of experience.
Yeah, definitely helped bring that Rydia online. Looked like it got about 20 levels out of that spot because of the catch-up XP. That's also part of Free Enterprise.
Yeah, I do like that when that flag is turned on, because it does help that what if you have the crystal sword, but you don't get Cecil till the very end? It's like maybe I will pick him up, because then it's not too hard to bring him up then with that flag turned on to get him caught up quickly.
Yeah, we do get a hook out of that, so that's going to be a quick turn in of the rat tail, as well as probably a check, or could be a check of the King Queen Evelyn spot. And
then also there would be another character check too. If they're gonna go, do that, they'll see if there's a, but we haven't seen a Cecil or some other characters, I think, too.
Yeah, definitely would also be interested in Fusoya, since he can only be found in gated locations. And this is definitely one of them, since it's gated behind a key item.
Oh, very much, yeah. So, nice, especially since we just have one thing to check left is the Rubicon. Definitely would be a good idea to check it. Nice quick one.
Yeah, Area in chat asking if we kind of counting out the characters we were missing, and I think that's correct that we were missing Cecil, Edward, Palom, Yang, and we're missing Fu. And there's an Earth Crystal. That's 2 more bosses and 2 more characters.
Exactly, that might be a good place to check, because you get some more experience. I think Flax has enough levels to be able to take them on, so I think that'd be a good next place to check. If he wasn't to go in the moon to check the bosses there, this is a good next place to go. It certainly does, with these random objectives, it does make the Earth Crystal Tower Zot a lot more appeasing for checking, because I know previous version people would avoid Zot sometimes because it does take a lot of time to go through the bosses and the dialogue and stuff. So, but it's definitely made it more people need to check it more often now.
Yeah, in previous versions and or without the objectives on, if you felt comfortable with your party, you often didn't feel like this was a terribly worthwhile check. But here, definitely, one totally gated boss gives you an actual reason to come up here and check the Mega Sister spot, which you could have always checked, um, but almost never see anyone do unless you're already going to complete the tower.
Exactly. I think the only time I would check Tower Zot without the Earth Crystal is if the flag is set where a key item could be in trap chests. So that might be sometimes I check that quick because I've had value in there before. It's not often when there's key items in trap chests, but it's a nice quick check for that.
Yeah, while you're up here checking on Flame Dog, just seeing if you have a required spot or demist hiding up here is worth your time.
That too, and we got a Golbez here in the Mega Sister spot.
Yeah, that's going to make this long check feel even longer. Unfortunately, Kane a little bit too fast.
I know one way to make this go a little bit faster, and is that if you know it's going to be Golbez, you kill your party down to 2 people, and it'll go through the dialogue a little bit faster. And you can also predetermine which 2 characters you have alive to hopefully, get things going with a reflex spell and get a better handle on the boss to hopefully take it out easy.
Yeah, it's definitely a technique that Twisted Flax might think about employing, but it looks like he's pretty much committed to just riding this out. Oh, and the ribbon that's been equipped makes the Shadow Dragon miss one of the characters.
Ooh, very nice. Very nice. Able to get off some Star Veils so you can start reflecting the spells off of Golbez.
Yep, that should make this fight pretty free and easy at this point. Will take a little bit of time because Golbez doesn't have great magic power here, but should be straightforward.
Yep, yeah, I noticed that, so it shouldn't be too bad. Hopefully the Star Veils will last long enough to kill him. I think he'll be able to do it, even if the Star Veils wear off. Like you said, the magic damage isn't that high.
Yeah, Dathos with a good point. Sid could have helped speed that fight up with either equipping the Earth Hammer that has, because that does have the fire element, and Golbez is weak to fire.
I'm not sure if I knew that either. I've learned a lot in this seed tonight.
Yeah, it looks like both of our runners ditched Tella for Rydia once she showed up in Dwarf Castle.
And there's our Foo. Very nice. Which it's always great to see a Foo. I don't think there's many times where I wouldn't take a Foo.
No, he's pretty much excellent anytime you find him, and definitely makes the pain of having to sit through that Golbez fight a little bit easier to swallow. And looks like Fu has betrayed his cousin Cecil, tying him up.
Not a very good cousin, is he?
They'll probably go to therapy and work their differences out, I'm sure.
Gambit with the pun there. Looks like he did take Cecil. Although, the best weapon, I think, is... That'd be the Ice Brand is probably the best weapon right now that he has.
Yeah, I might even, if that was still an Elven Bow, I might even just equip that. W Reflect asking how they fixed the slow or laggy menu. I don't actually know the details of it, but I believe that Boardface had borrowed some of the code from Crow, who makes the Lunarian Shuffle Randomizer, in order to kind of help out the menus and make them nice and snappy and responsive.
We got the King and Queen Eblin here for the Val spot, which is going to make it really easy because it's just you can just sit there and it'll time out. Or if you take out King Eblin after a little bit longer, then the Queen will then take herself out. So very nice freebie boss here.
Yeah, I'll definitely get Tussle a little bit online. I think he has 10 key items, so it should be about 18,000 experience, I think. And Ralphian in chat asking if we know who is in the Odin spot, and we don't yet. Both runners went to Baron pretty early, and neither of them checked.
One thing that's really nice that boss being free is that Cecil is level 1, so Cecil's going to get a nice level boost there.
Yeah, I get to take advantage of that slingshot experience that kicks in when you have a full party, and any member who is 5 levels or more below the median character's level gets double XP for every fight until they've caught up. And Dathis points out he's probably still within that slingshot range because you didn't get that much experience. Ooh, and there's the package.
Will they check the hypo in?
I really think I'd want to check the moon instead of that, but we'll see.
Oh, me too. I mean, I wouldn't. Package definitely would be a last place to check. Only time that I might check package is like, and this is potentially bad metagaming, is like if it's gone a long time, it's late in the game, and no one's won yet. Like, maybe it could be a package, but generally that doesn't work. But that's one time I might check it early if I'm trying to metagame.
Yeah, definitely. The package feels to me most of the time like, and I'm behind and I need to gamble. It can definitely pay out for you. And Consiero in chat asking if you still get triple for 10 below, and you don't anymore. That was taken out, as Ralphian says in chat also. That was taken out in the 4.0. It is only double experience for 5 or more levels below the median.
We have the first person checking the hook here with Fryz going inside the Evelyn town here in the shops and checking out, see if there's anything worth buying.
It looks like there's some more tiaras. There's been a lot of tiaras in the seed so far. And there were Thunderclaws, which might have been nice earlier, but I think we've seen all of the bosses that are weak to lightning. So probably just going to stay in the shop there. It's one neat thing you can do with Edge, since you can equip all the claws. You can get Edge a lot of elemental damage and other ways to kind of pile on extra resistances or extra weaknesses to bosses.
That's right. I sometimes forget that Edge can equip the claws, which, like I said, can help with elementals.
Yeah, with the claws and the mute dagger, Edge has a lot of versatility.
Very much so. And speaking of Yang, and there's Yang right there.
And Fryz seems not interested in checking for the King Queen Evelyn spot or in even trying to get that Yang. He's going to walk this out.
Hopefully it's not Rubicant.
Counter asking if you can warp. You can indeed warp out of here. You can't warp once you're inside of Upper Bevel, but when you're in the caves, you can both warp and exit. It's like Twisted Flax is maybe grinding all the way up to final party levels. As he Cecil's there at 43, and does have 10 key items, so could just be doing this to get all the experience that he'll need for the rest of the seed.
Looks like it. Maybe he wants to get enough levels so he can start taking on the moon bosses.
And Fryz gets his Earth Crystal.
We'll see if he takes the Earth Crystal up or does something else.
So well, looks like both our runners are doing a little bit of grind. Do you want to talk about the format of the Fabul Gauntlet?
Oh, sure. Correct me if I get any of this wrong, but the format is that the first phase here will have 5 rounds of 1 versus 1 from all our participants, and then the second part is was it the top 32 people will be able to move on to the next round, and if there's any of the ones that are close in rank, there'll be I think a play-in round, and then from there there'll be a tournament to determine a winner.
Yeah, as long as you're at 3 and 2 in the tournament, you'll be eligible for that play-in round where it'll be a single elimination, and then you'll start moving into best of 3 matches with, I believe it was 3 players per match, but I don't quite remember that one. Looks like Dath is helping us out with all the information. You can click those links and get all the detailed information for the Fabul Gauntlet.
Thank you very much, Dathis. You've been a very good bot, Dathis. Or Deathbot. It looks like Flax just did what I talked about earlier when you try to use the Enterprise and try to time it so you hit the spot to go above ground, but then you just miss it by 1 spot.
Oh, and we finally have our Odin check. Except then we reset.
Looks like he's maybe trying to decide what he wants to do here. Oh, maybe he wants to heal up first before checking Odin.
Yeah, it would definitely be easy to do, kind of do your grind and feel like you're ready to take on the world, and then not save or maybe not just heal up and have to just redo some stuff. That'd be really, really disheartening. And to catch people up who might not have been here since the beginning of the seed, we have a couple bosses that we know who they are, but we don't know what's behind them. Wyvern was sitting guarding the normal vanilla Earth Crystal spot, and Ogopogo is at the top of the tower, and neither runner has felt like defeating either of those bosses.
Indeed, yeah. And looks like the Odin spot was Bahamut and Flax out, so looks like he's gonna go to the moon.
Yeah, I kind of like this play too. You are down to 1 key item that can hide a boss that you don't have yet, so you are probably just in, is this the boss, yes or no? And if it's not, I will just walk right on by or reset.
Yeah, definitely. I think we just don't have the Luca key for hiding bosses. Isn't that right?
Yep, that's correct. And Sardian in chat asking if there's any word on Rubicant, and there's not. We still don't know who is at either Elements or at CPU. We don't know who is at um, the Luca Key spot, and we don't know who is at the King Queen Evelyn spot or anything in the Lunar Subterranean.
Or Kaipo again.
That's true. The package also could be hiding Rubicant.
Yep, no Rubicon sighting yet, Imperial Dragon.
He's playing the worst game of hide and go seek.
I didn't even. What boss was it? He kind of reset it out there before I could see.
That was Karate.
Ah, I think probably like I said earlier, he only has one. Just check the bosses, and if it's not Rubicant, reset and check the next one.
Yeah, that's one that I might have thought about doing because he does have Cecil in his party, and so could have activated the script where after Yang cues his second kick, if Cecil attacks him at all, Yang will say "ouch" and disappear.
This is true. That would have been a nice, quick experience too. Or it could have been, like I said, we still don't have Luca Key, so it could have provided Luca Key, which then could have, potentially opened up Rubicant. So we'll see if that comes into play later.
Yeah, I think Flax is playing the odds that Rubicant is going to be available in one of the spots that you can just see, which in an hour 38, he doesn't know, of course, what his opponent is doing. But that does feel possibly a little risky, depending on where you think your opponent might be in the seed. There's a lot to metagame and to metagame yourself into a loss here too.
Almost definitely, but I think it's good play to check the boss spots. I think though he hasn't checked Bahamut. I think there was only fryz who checked Bahamut, correct?
No, actually, I don't remember who checked the Bahamut spot. I got confused there for a second since we've seen Bahamut's spot and Bahamut himself.
Okay, I believe fryz is the one that checked Bahamut, but I don't think Twisted Flax has yet. I think this is Twisted Flax's first time on the moon, at least checking the bosses anyway, I think.
I believe you're correct.
And let's say get to see a brief glimpse of what we like to call in FE the Pain Man, which is Dark Cecil, which can be a difficult boss if the boss flag is set such that you can't use his script, which is just attack him 3 times. And I know that flag isn't set in this flag set, so all you have to do is survive 3 of his waves, but he's not Rubicant, so you move on.
And that's also a pretty evil spot for him there. There's a lot of attack power there since that's Plague's normal spot. And Plague, since he doesn't attack, the original developers of the game could kind of just set those values to whatever. So DKC there is going to do an awful lot of damage and will live up to his name as Pain Man.
Another very difficult Pain Man spot is definitely, like a lot of bosses, is the Land of Summon Monsters bosses. I think I remember one time, I can't remember if it was a Shura spot or Leviathan spot. I had a seed where the boss flag was set, and so it took a long time to survive and beat that boss because it's like he says, it's painful.
Yeah, he's very, very rude at Leviathan, which is one of the highest attack spots in the game.
It might have been Leviathan then, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even Asura is no slouch. I think he does like 600 to 800 per attack there. Leviathan, it cracks 1,000. And so far, we're striking out on the moon for an available Rubicon.
What was at Wyvern spot? I don't think I saw.
Pylon Z.
Gotcha. All right, one more check from what we haven't seen for the moon anyway. Not there either. That might be all the spots except for Giant and Package, right? For what we have open to us.
Giant Package, Luca Key, and King Queen Evelyn spot are the only ones that we have not seen.
Still, you can check everyone but one, because we don't have the Luka key yet. Basically, 5 you can right. 4 of the 5 you can check right now.
Correct.
But let's just say technically 5 out of 6, because Flax hasn't checked Bahamut spot yet.
I know my nerves would be definitely amped up at this point when I've checked all of many available spots and still haven't seen them, and now I'm wondering what boss that I left behind might have the key, the Luca key to where Rubicon might be.
Exactly. Yeah, I've had the same thinking. It's like, did I skip these bosses that I shouldn't have? Could the Luka key still be somewhere, or what other bosses have I not checked yet?
Yeah, I mean the odds were definitely in your favor to just kind of peek at all the bosses and run away, um, if it's not the correct one. But those odds have not panned out for our runner.
I believe Fritz has taken his first dive into the main last dungeon here and checked a chest. Not sure if he intended to do that or if he was looking for any trap chests.
Yeah, might be looking for a little extra XP, or might be looking for some of the very, very good items that you can pull out of trap chests. You could indeed pull out a crystal sword or a dragoon spear, or a Masamune or Murasame here. I don't necessarily think that it's always a good use of your time to do moon chests, but the ones in Lower Babel, especially when they had a Sid and an Earthhammer, can be very, very valuable.
That's true, and certainly can help. And you're going to do them anyway when the flag is set to check the trap chest for key items. Sometimes, I like to either, if that flag is set or I'm at low level and I have a hook seed, I will check the trap chest in the Castle Elbland because you get some nice items and also a little nice injection of XP to help you take on upper battle.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially if your party is not a particularly good one and you have some rude bosses there. Um, and here you could also use Stone from Rydia. I'm not sure what Rydia is casting right now, but Stone could take care of all 4 of these uh, enemies all in one go. And Kane with the 1,000 point Drain Spear attack. That's kind of surprising. It's that high.
Yeah, I don't think the Drain Spear did much damage. It's because why people make fun of it. It's the Drain Spear.
Its accuracy is very low and does lower all of its stats. So that's why you don't see it employed that often.
Although I think his level's pretty high there with 3,000 experience, probably level 50 or so.
Gets a Ninja Sword for his edge. That'll help out the damage.
That's true. That was some value there. And it does look like Flax is going to check the King and Queen Evelyn spot here.
And Jeebus in chat asking what level you need Berserk Kane to solo kill Zeromus with a Drain Spear, and I actually don't know the answer because I would always try and find a Drain Sword instead.
I'm not sure either, but I want to do that someday just to say I did. Like, yeah, I killed Zeromus with a solo Kane with a Drain Spear. Because I know it can be done, but be fun to try someday. I think though to do that trick, I think you also need the Avenger Sword, don't you? So that you can have him be berserked and all the time.
You don't need the Avenger Sword. You just need some source of Berserk. So the Avenger is the easiest way to do it. But just having the Bacchus Wines around would be sufficient. And we don't have a Rubicant in French Vanilla King Queen Evelyn spot. I wonder if Twisted Flax maybe forgot to save outside.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And then also I kind of wonder if he hasn't seen what the Rubicon spot is, because he's fighting this boss. If he had known the Rubicon spot wasn't Rubicant, he would reset out of here.
Well, he saw it when he got young, but whether or not he paid attention is a very different question. This and the Beigen spot are ones that I almost always forget because I have the memory of a goldfish when it comes to that.
I'm not the only one then. Yeah, I always forget to look too, and like I get the character, I'm like, oh no, what was Rubicant's there? I forgot to look. So I do it all the time too.
We see Fryz taking this karate fight. Unfortunately, he has not yet gone to Zod to get Cecil. So it's going to be taking a little bit of time for this fight. And there is Pale Dim. And a quick reset.
Frizz should still be able to handle this. He's got a lot of levels, and so he should be able to make work of karate here.
Oh, no question. Both runners have all the levels they'll need for the rest of the seed. Just a question of whether or not they find the right check. Oh, and there's our Luca key.
Nice. If this was me, I'd go check that right now, because that's a nice, quick, easy check. And the remaining boss spots, are a little harder to get to. That's well, actually, I would still check the rest of the moon places, but I definitely had that back in my mind if there was nothing good at the rest of the moon boss spots.
Yeah, and that Dark Knight Cecil definitely living up to his moniker here in Free Enterprise, doing 900 plus per swing at that leg. Julian asking if Frizz ever got the package. No, Frizz has not yet done Tower of Zod, where Twisted Flax did get the package. So both of our runners have a check available to them that the other runner does not, that could be hiding Rubicon.
And I'm guessing Flex might go be checking the package spot here.
I think so. Yeah, it looks like we have a Palom available to us. We have a Cloud, who's burning down Mist Village.
Cloud, but not Cloud the character.
And both our twins hiding behind key items of the seed.
Frizz is continuing checking the boss spots here in the moon. Well, we're going to find out soon what the boss is at Kaipo in.
And this whole cutscene to find out the boss is definitely nerve-wracking when you're here almost 2 hours into a seed and are still looking for one final boss. You just want to get out and push the characters a little bit faster.
Yeah, definitely.
Deathis, I'm not sure I've ever timed it, but it definitely feels 3 minutes or longer when you're at this part of a seed.
And oh, we've seen elements, haven't we?
We have, that is Rubicon.
That is Rubicant. Oh wow.
Flex is in go mode. Still, we've never found the past, so we'll have to go back up to the moon.
Very true, but wow, I don't think I've actually seen that before, at least with my own seeds, to have package actually be value. Wow.
Yeah, that was a nice troll there, Deathis. And you would be able to see all 4 elements if it was elements. Since the vanilla boss location does have 4 sprites, you would see all 4 element sprites here as well.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
And Flax has to be very nervous, I bet, knowing that that package was sitting there for quite a while he went and checked other things.
Well, that's true. If it was me, I'd still be hoping, hopefully, the other person had checked because, like I said, that's something most people like to wait till the very end. And they still had a few things to check before there was a few other places he could have checked before checking the package. So he did check it slightly early. He could have done the giant still.
Let's see if we can recreate that chain. So the Earth Crystal was behind Rat Tail, which I don't remember where we got that. And the hook was at Dwarf Castle. Rat was vanilla? Okay. So we needed to do... See, Magma Key was at Demist. So we needed to do... was it Fabul to get the Baron Key, then Baron Castle to get Demist, Demist to get the Magma Key. Magma Key to Underground gets you both the Rat Tail and the Hook, which was at Dwarf Castle and Vanilla.
Mm-hmm.
And then you had to follow that to turn in the Rat Tail to get the Earth Crystal to get the package to get to Rubicant.
That's quite the chain.
That is quite the chain. And plus you had to get the pan in order to get to whack Yang on the head to get the Sand Ruby and to raise the whale because Sheila had the Darkness Crystal.
Dude, it looks like Frizz took out the Wyvern spot and got the spoon.
Which you do have to enjoy since you have an edge in your party and can chuck it for a whole lot of damage to Zeromus, but it's not the key item he's looking for.
Yep, unfortunately, but it's a decent consolation prize. It's better than a ninja hat or a ninja shirt.
It is indeed better than a ninja shirt.
I wonder, does Flax have enough levels, or do you think he'll do a little bit more grinding?
I think he's got the levels from the last time we saw hit point characters. Oh yeah, Cecil's at 50, and he's got characters all in the 50s. I think he's good.
Oh, definitely. He's definitely go mode.
Yeah, even though Cecil doesn't have the best weapon, the Edge is going to do a good bit of damage with, I think it's a Murasame and a Ninja Sword.
Oh, that's right. Flax didn't sell the sword, so that'll definitely help him out with Z here.
Yeah, Aria in chat pointing out that you can't fault Flax or Frizz here at all for continuing to fight these bosses. He's still missing still missing the package for a place that could be holding Rubicant, and we do know that indeed the package does have Ruby. Just doesn't know it's behind the Earth Crystal instead of any of these moon bosses. Definitely setting himself for plenty of levels. Will melt Z when he gets the opportunity, though.
Oh, most definitely. It's not going to need any more grinding.
And Bahamut X, I see some flags out in chat, and I think you have a very, very important question to ask.
Whose butt are we kicking tonight?
Do you have any sprites you'd like to see?
How about the jelly from Lufia? I think I've seen them before.
I have seen that. I think we saw. I know I've seen a run of the Ancient Cave percent on the RPG Valkyries channel pretty recently. Ralthian wanting to have a bunt miss as a thing, have a nice cake for us to destroy. I'm not sure if it's there, but the winner of the Fabul Gauntlet would get to have a sprite put into the game. So that could be something our winner decides to do.
It looks like our sprite is King Cosmos from Katamari Damacy. And while we're Fox is taking on Z, we got Fryz taking on the Dark Elf here. And I'm not sure if Rydia has enough levels. I know a quick way to take out Dark Elf is that since his boss flag is not set, you can cast Weak on him and take him out very quick.
Indeed, and I think that Rydia does have enough levels looking at her HP total.
But I don't think he casted. I don't think she casted. But I wasn't looking closely, but still was able to take care of him pretty easily.
Gets a Zeus Gauntlet, which is kind of nice, and Twisted Flax's Edge almost goes down, but is able to be saved and gets right back to dealing some pretty significant damage to Zeromus.
And looks like, does he have Cecil, Edge, and Kane on the Berserk mode here?
I think so. I think he's just going to hold out and let full-fledged Big Bangs come out and just heal up with both Fusia and Rosa and just kind of get this fight done that way. It should be a pretty safe strategy for him with those HP totals.
Oh, definitely. I think there might be a chance he might take out Fu, but I'm not sure what is, if he's changed his equipment at all. I think Fu would be the only one in danger of dying, but everyone else definitely has enough HP.
Yeah, Rosa could maybe fall to a high Big Bang also, but probably isn't too worried about either about both of them falling at the same one, and probably will just kind of let Fu go at some point and ride Rosa's rely on Rosa's higher MP total to kind of serve out for the rest of the fight.
Definitely should be pretty much smooth sailing for Flax here.
And Fryz not having completed Zot to both get Cecil and to unlock exit on Rosa is having to walk out of the Lunar Subterranean, which hurts a little bit. Definitely have had to do it a few times, and I don't like it anytime that I have to.
Indeed. Although he has Rydia, so he could use Warp out of here, I believe. I think.
Yeah, you definitely could warp out, but it looks like he's checking trap tests. Might not be comfortable with his equipment loadout, even though the levels look like they're pretty good.
Yeah, I think in my experience, the higher levels you have, I mean, it's always good to have good equipment, but higher levels, the equipment becomes less important.
Yeah, and we really didn't find a lot of good equipment for anyone except Sid, really, in this seed. And the couple swords for Ed.
Indeed, yeah. Well, hopefully Fritz can get something good out of these trap chests if he's going to continue to go for them.
Yeah, I'd love to see this pay out at least a little bit for him.
Definitely.
You know, just getting some XP, you might be looking to get Rydia up to 1900 or 2000 hit points. Yeah, Dathis in chat pointing out that Scala Kitty is most likely responsible for this sprite, since she's done the majority of them. once you took over the sprite creation from Boardface. I believe we're up to north of 450 sprites overall that you could be fighting at the Zeromus fight. And we have rocks falling and a full HP total on Twisted Flax's party. I think he is going to be home free.
Yeah, just a couple more hits from our from his melee characters here. Puppet is asking as he's fighting the Gauntlet. I don't think we've come across the Gauntlet quite yet. It's just trap chests.
Yeah, we know the Gauntlet is an Key of Bahamut, but fryz is checking out trap chest, looking probably to get a little bit more equipment, I would guess.
That would be my guess too. And that's right. That's where the Fabul Gauntlet was. I forgot about that.
And there is the flash. Twisted Flax has taken first place in this race and goes to a record of 1-1 in the Fabul Gauntlet.
Indeed. GG to Twisted Flax.
And speaking of, we actually are joined by Twisted Flax. GG on your finish, my friend.
Thank you very much. I hate boss fights.
Yes, and that was quite the chain. Tell us about how you were feeling as you were checking all the lunar subterranean and not finding Rubicon anywhere.
Well, thanks to that save snafu I made having to be missed twice, I thought I was behind at the time, so I figured, well, if he's on the moon, then I probably already lost him. I'm going to do some other checks before that, and when he wasn't in the Tower of Zot, but I figured, well, I checked the moon, went through every single boss, couldn't find it. I was like, what's left? The hook bosses, do the hook bosses. I looked, the hook boss is not there. I was about to resign myself to try and find Lupi before I remembered that, oh, Tower of Zot had the package. Check the package first, and sure enough, he was there.
Yeah, that was quite the chain that Deathus rolled for you guys behind there. Were you feeling pretty nervous when you remember that you had the package for quite a while and hadn't checked it?
Absolutely. I did feel slightly better when I realized that it was kind of a long chain to be able to get there, and fryz might not have followed the same chain of logic, especially if we went to the moon first. So I was feeling a little better at that point, but any time the last half hour, if I had seen that fryz finish, I would not have been surprised.
Yeah, it was definitely a race that just came down to who was going to both remember that they had the package in their inventory or check Tower of Zot to get that package.
Definitely, but that was quite the check there. Because if it was me, I would have checked the giant first. The package kind of a last thing to check. So GG for checking that a little bit earlier, because people usually don't want to check that till the very end.
It was, I'll be honest, it was dumb luck.
Well, I definitely like the play to kind of just, when you know you're only missing one or two key items that could be hiding boss spots, just check the moon and just play the odds that Rubicon could be behind one of those places.
Yeah.
And how did you feel about the kind of lack of equipment for people who weren't Edge or Sid in this seed?
It was really tough. I mean, I knew I had the levels, but I think I don't remember what I had on Kane. And I know I had like an ice brand on Cecil. It was like, well, it's going to be a long Z fight, but I'm pretty sure I can keep everyone up during it.
Yeah, I think chat had tracked down that you were probably using a wind spear on Kane based on the
probably one of the first times I found it, and yeah, through on, I never found anything better.
How did you feel about just how open that early seed was, getting most of your early objectives done, cleaned out of the way, and then just having that very, very long hunt for Rubik.
It's kind of you're almost paralyzed by indecision at that point because you have so many options. Um, for a while, I was gearing up for a D machine grind since I found the darkness crystal, and I wasn't willing. I was going to grab a character replace with Horror since they had too many white mages at the time. And I figured I'll check how many white mages got sirens. He's got sirens. I was able to grind a little, and that made things a lot easier at that point. But there was that period in sort of middle 20 minutes, half hour, where I just did not feel like I was making very good decisions.
Yeah, there were so many decisions to make, and so few of them, it turns out, could have been the right ones.
It's tough. I mean, you get down yourself a little by making what seems probably logical decisions at the time, but in retrospect, just don't get you anywhere. And it was a little tough to just try to keep plugging away.
Yeah, I definitely think you made good decisions in terms of just deciding to not deal with some bosses that you tried once and didn't want to go back to, like that Pogo Pogo at the top of the tower or the Wyvern at Twin Harp.
Thankfully, I remember that Wyvern can't block underground access, so whatever was behind there wasn't going to get me further in the sea. So I figured if I need to go back there, I'll go back there and have to. You guys have to listen to the music again.
Yeah, we were both kind of wondering whether or not you had forgotten. Both of you didn't immediately check that demist, and because of that long walk and having to fight another boss in between, I wondered if you had forgotten about it.
I honestly did. I did. And so that's the cause of that little issue with the reset, but I didn't have the save. I thought I'd saved. So I thought, okay, I can save, I can return, I can go back to the Odin spot. And then halfway through, I was like, oh wait, the Odin spot can't block underground either. And so I restored and realized I hadn't saved, and so I figured, well, okay, I can use bosses yet. I think what did I miss? I was literally halfway through the second time finding the demist. I realized, oh wait, there's the answer.
Yeah, that definitely hurt. We all felt for you a lot when you reset out and were farther back than we imagined that you would have been.
Silver lining, had I not done that, I might have forgotten that I had beaten him, and I would have been completely at loss. Where can I go next?
Hey, that's like I said, silver lining. I was gonna bring that up. I've done that myself, where you get pretty far and then you forget to save and then you lose a lot of time.
Yeah.
So, but it's worked out in the end for sure.
I feel very fortunate. I think that match was up for grabs, and GG fryz. Sometimes it's just how it works out.
Yeah, GG's on your win, and you're going to 1-1 in the tournament. Do you have any other thoughts on the seed, or Bahamut X, do you have any other questions?
I believe I'm good. Again, GG to Flax here, and congrats on getting the win, and good luck in the future rounds.
Great, thanks to you for the comms. Thanks to Davis and Joseph for running everything. Always a pleasure.
GG's.
GG. Have a wonderful night.
You too.
And fryz123 has decided to forfeit the race afterwards, but does want to come in for an interview. We're happy to have him. GG's fryz. That was a hard fought scene.
Yeah, that was all over the place.
Indeed. Yeah, it was lots to do there, but then at the very end, for most of that seed, what was left was finding Rubicant. There were so many different places you could check for him. It was just a matter of what one to check first.
Yeah, I narrowed it down as like, okay, I can either check Zot or I can check the moon. Well, the moon has more bosses. It's the safer bet. Let's go there.
Yeah, the odds definitely seemed like they were in your favor with checking the moon. And also pulling out that Luca key was another thing that you had an advantage on, because Twisted Flax had not actually fought any of the bosses on the moon. He just kind of checked them, and when they saw they weren't Rubicon, had moved on. So had it been behind there, you would have had a huge lead.
Yeah, except I saw that Luca King got scared. I'm like, I don't want to go down there. I don't want to go down there.
Yeah, it's always a little scary to leave the moon once you're there, isn't it?
Mhm.
It is, because you're right there. I was really hoping that that last, where the last moon bosses would be Rubicon, I can just go straight down the staircases right to Zeromus and just finish it.
Yeah, since no one had found the pass either, that would definitely have been the dream. How did you like that double Sid start?
Funny you should mention that. I was doing a practice seed earlier with a double Tella start. I'm like, oh, well, this is random. Okay. But then I saw it was double Sid. I'm like, all right, let's see what the objectives are. I'm like, oh, well, I know. Well, Hobbs, well, let's go there first because I know where we're.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I felt with those objectives, it was just going to be a race from the beginning because we were going to probably hit the same things one after another, the easier of the objectives, and then hopefully pass Rubicon somewhere along the way.
yeah, you both crisscrossed a lot throughout the seed. Each of you checked that Wyvern and Cave Magnus at different times, and both took one shot and then said, "Nah, we'll come back if we need."
Yeah, I was like, oh, well, just going to nope out of here and we'll pretend we weren't even here. Which kind of stinks because that track is one of my favorite tracks that was on the harp.
Oh yeah, since we were commentating, I didn't get to hear which song from Mega Man 2 was it?
It was the music from Wily 1, Wily Stage 1 from Mega Man 2.
Oh, nice. That's the track from Mega Man 2, isn't it? Wily Stage 1.
Yeah.
Oh, my favorite track from Mega Man 2 for sure. So, did you know or find out where the Rubicon was hidden?
Yeah, after I finally forfeited, I asked because I said I was going to just check one more thing because remember I said I narrowed it down to either the Moon or Zot, and I checked Zot. I didn't finish it. As soon as I saw King and Queen Emblem pop up, I was like, all right, I'm out. And I didn't think that there would be the package, and then the package would take me to Kaipo where he was.
That's really rare for most people. Checking the package is like the last thing to check, so it's a gamble to try to go for it before the end. So
Right,
it's
because if you're wrong, it's time consuming.
very much so, yeah.
Yeah, well, that was a very close seed. You both played well. Just unfortunately that you didn't happen to take the right very long path to find Rubicon.
Yeah, it was, again, narrowed it down to 2, and I just chose wrong. Well, I'll learn better next time.
For sure, and we'll be definitely interested to see you keep going because that was definitely a close race and you're playing well. Do you have any other final thoughts on the seed?
Nope, just that I'm gonna finish it when I wake up tomorrow because I didn't get to see the Zeroma sprite, and don't spoil it for me because I want to find out what it was.
Oh, we won't, and you'll probably have a good time melting Zeromus' face with all those levels you have there.
Indeed.
Well, thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, and GG, and have a good night. And enjoy good luck the rest of your rounds in the future weeks.
All right, thank you. You all have a good night.
You too.
Thanks, you too.
So I believe that's it, isn't it, Entadale?
That is. Thank you to Dathis for restreaming, and to Yofas Menho for doing the tracking tonight, doing a wonderful job clicking the buttons. And thank you, Bahamut X, for being my co-coms. It was a pleasure.
Thank you also. You've been a great co-commentator too, and this has been a fun experience commenting Free Enterprise, and look forward to doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. And all the viewers, feel free to come by our Discord and make sure to give our runners a follow too. I'm sure they would appreciate it. They did a good job giving us a good race tonight.